All right, here we go.
I'd like to call the meeting of the Waukegan City Council for the 19th of August, 2013. Roll call, please, Mr. Clerk.
Alderman Cunningham. Alderman Conkin. Alderman Moiseo.
Present.
Alderman Beedling.
Present.
Alderman Newsom.
Present.
Alderman Tempest.
Present.
Alderman May. Alderman Valco. Alderman Rivera.
Present.
You have a quorum, Mayor.
Invocation, please, Bishop Colburn.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you again for another city council meeting. We thank you for our mayor, for this council. We ask your blessings upon us, upon all the citizens of Waukegan. We ask you to bless us with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and give us love for one another, forgiveness and kindness. And we thank you for it. Now bless Waukegan, and may God bless America. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I have no mayor's comments. Audience time, Jane Ferry, 531. Jane?
My name is Jane Ferry, 531 Leith Avenue, and I am the director of Waukegan Main Street. Saturday was a great night for the Art Walk. If you had a chance to come down there, you sure enjoyed the beautiful weather. You might have enjoyed the Now Hear This Broadway review. And we think that the biggest crowd was there because of the coverage in the paper, so we appreciate the local coverage. If you didn't make it on Saturday, it's every single month, third Saturday of the month. The next one is September 21st. This week kicks off the start of the school year, so please remember to watch out for children and buses. And for those of you who do spend some time downtown, remember we have families who live downtown, so there will be kids in the street down there as well. Upcoming events for the next couple of weeks include the dedication of the grand staircase at the Karcher Art Space. This is going to be on Tuesday, tomorrow, August 20th, and everybody is welcome. Karcher is at 405 Washington Street. Thursday is going to be a very busy day. State Representative Rita Mayfield has a job fair that's going to be at the Ramada Inn. Veterans are welcome at 9 o'clock and the general public is welcome at 10. We also have, we also have a musical tribute to Ray Bradbury's birthday with the Sounds of Space at the Steiner Pavilion from 6 to 10 p.m. on our beautiful lakefront. If you haven't had a chance to go down there all year, summer is closing down, so please come out for it. And also on Thursday at 17 North, the Beer Club's inaugural tasting will take place. That's at 7 p.m., and the tastings will be monthly. Symbolistic and Parallel and Lies will be performing at the Summer Concert Series on Saturday the 24th, also at the Steiner Pavilion, 7:30 p.m., and it's $5. You can be from out of town without having to pay a fee other than the $5. Also on Saturday is the Bruce Williams Band at Big Ed's on Genesee Street. And finally, next Saturday, remember, is Labor Day weekend. It's the start of the weekend. So hope you all have some great plans. If you don't, the Burgundy Room has a show to kick off for the 21 and older set, 40 Wax. The doors will open at 9 and the show starts at 10. Remember, some of our businesses have things every single week. For instance, Jerry's Tacos has Taco Tuesday, $1 tacos. Greentown Tavern has open mic night on Thursday starting at 8. And 17 North has karaoke on Friday starting at 9. If you didn't catch all of this information, you can always look us up on WaukeganMainStreet.org or on our Facebook page or at 847-623-6650. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Keith Turner.
Motion to seat Alderman Conkin, Mayor.
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Keith?
Thank you, Mayor. Keith Turner, 1320 North Jackson Street.
And Jane, thank you very much for that report on downtown. It's really exciting to hear that kind of news. I remember when there wasn't much going on downtown, and now there's always something going on in Waukegan. I think that might be a new model for us. There's always something happening in Waukegan. I just wanted to comment real quickly. I was contacted over the weekend by one of my neighbors, and she brought it to my attention that there's a safety hazard down at the beach. And I think Alderman May spoke about this recently. I remember it being discussed, and that is the number of boats and ski-doos, or whatever they're called, those two-person jet skis. Thank you, Ralph. Jet skis that are coming in very close to the shore and in amongst the swimmers and waders and so forth. And I got up and went down there to look for myself, and I'll tell you, it really is a safety hazard down there. It's an accident waiting to happen. And getting hit with a boat or a jet ski or getting hit with a propeller is extremely dangerous, and it's bound to happen. I also understand that we have limited resources and certainly don't have the resources to enforce a safety ordinance effectively and consistently down there. And I'd just like to suggest, Mayor, that maybe we put up some signage or somehow designate certain areas for those jet skis and boats, and then maybe get some occasional patrols, maybe with the sheriff's water patrol or something like that. So, but thank you very much, and I just thought I'd bring that to your attention and make that suggestion. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. Chris Blanks.
Brother Blanks, 409 Oak Street. People who live or work in Waukegan may not have met Arthur Brumfield, but they know him when they see him. The diminutive Brumfield remembers the day the bulldozers arrived, August 10th, a Wednesday, and since his conversation never veered far from the revenge he seeks. This is an article that was written in the Waukegan News-Sun that was written by Miss Judy Masterson. And the reason I'm reading that here today is because of issues of mental illness and those things in our community is something I think too often we take for granted, and too often we use a last resort first. Mr. Brumfield, who after his house was torn down in August the 10th, it was in August this month. This is a man who came to live with me for 9 months after that incident took place. And in doing so, which he became a good friend of mine. And I'm bringing this up here today because I think on behalf of mental health issues and people, this is something that never should be forgotten, because it's something that should never be repeated again. I've watched many shows on hoarding and issues regarding people of his conditions since Mr. Arthur Brumfield's house has been torn down. I watched many shows on hoarding. One particular show I think called Buried Alive. In many instances I've seen him go in, clean the houses out, help the people, help the condition first, and clean the house out and everything, and help deal with the issue or the patient. But out of all those shows that I have watched over the years, I've never, ever seen them tear down a man's or a woman's house. I think about this. I was speaking last week at the county board meeting, and speaking in reference that on February the 7th, I was blessed to be able to pay off my home after going through a whole lot of ordeals and trials and struggles to hold on to my house. Here's a man, Mr. Arthur Brumfield, whose home was paid off, who has put his life into holding on to his home, taught many kids throughout this community in schools and everything, and really had been an asset to the community and only been a threat only to himself. And I'm saying that and speaking up for my friend, because I don't ever think and want something like that to ever happen again to any citizen of this city, when I think it is something that definitely could have been avoided, because there should be a whole lot of other avenues and approaches that could be taken And to tear down a man's house, I don't think that should ever be a last resort. If you move him out or whatever, don't never tear somebody's house down who has put their whole life into giving the best they can to maintain shelter, because only thing you did was contributed to a worldwide problem of homelessness, and I think we can do without that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Blanks. Candy Ortiz?
Hi, good evening, everyone. City Council Mayor, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak. My name is Dulce Candy Ortiz, and I live on 10 North Sheridan Road. And just to touch up on the basis of what Brother Blanks was speaking in regards to homelessness. We do have homelessness in our community, and as part of Waukegan Township, it gives me great pride to let you know about our Eddie Washington Center for Men, a transitional housing homeless facility for men, and also Staben House, our transitional homeless facility for women with children. This coming Friday, August 30th, we will be hosting our annual golf outing. It will be held at the Midlane Country Club. And basically, we are celebrating 20 years of the Eddie Washington Center having its door open to those individuals that have unfortunately experienced homelessness. Again, it's we would like for your support and participation. We have sponsorship opportunities available. We also have, you know, if you're a golfer, of course, we have foursomes and individual golf packages available. And last but not least, you know, Waukegan Township, under the direction of Supervisor Patricia Jones, has done an excellent job in assisting over 3,500 men to get back up on their feet, and countless women with children that have experienced homelessness. Now, the Staben House is a 16-bed facility, and up until this point, it's always been at capacity. Therefore, we implore you, we ask for your support. These fundraisers help us offset the costs of keeping these facilities open, which you know, our community greatly needs. I know we've all experienced mistakes on our own, and we all deserve a second chance. Last but not least, as a member of the Coalición Latinos Unidos de Lake County, the Latino Coalition will be hosting its annual Noche de Gala. It will be Friday, September 13th at 6:30 at the Deer Path Inn in Lake Forest. Tickets are available for purchase, and any questions in regards to these events, you're more than welcome to see me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Ortiz. A motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Cunningham, to approve the minutes of August 5th, 2013. Roll call, please, Mr. Clerk. Voice vote, I'm sorry. Voice vote, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Next is resolution proclamations and appointments. I'd like to appoint two people. By state statutes, there are only 5 positions that have to be sworn in the city, and those are the department head positions. I neglected to swear in Izell Robbins as the Director of Community Development. Izell, if you'd come forward, please. Art, can you swear him in? I'll entertain a motion by Alderman Cunningham, seconded by Alderman Conken, to approve the Director of Community Development Block Grant as Izell Robbins. It was previously appointed, he just has to be sworn in.
So do we have to vote?
No.
Yeah.
State your name.
I, Izell Robbins,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of office
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
of Director of Community Block Grants for the City of Waukegan
of Director of Community Development Block Grant for the City of Waukegan
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
The next person to be sworn in is Tom Haggerty, Director of Public Works. Motion by Alderman Tempest, second by Alderman Beedling. He's already been approved, we just have to swear him in. Nice tie.
I state your name.
I, Thomas Haggerty,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
that I will faithfully discharge the duties of office
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
of Director of Public Works
of Director of Public Works
for the City of Waukegan to the best of my ability.
for the City of Waukegan to the best of my ability.
Next, Public Works Committee, Alderman Moiseo.
Thank you, Your Honor. We met today at 6 o'clock. We have 3 things on the agenda. Item A, request permission to adopt the revised watershed development ordinance. Motion to recommend that the City Council authorize the proper city officials permission to adopt the latest version of the Lake County Watershed Development Ordinance, and I so move.
Second, Your Honor.
Motion by Alderman Moiseo, second by Alderman Tempest. Roll call, please, Mr. Clerk.
Alderman Cunningham. Alderman Conken.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Beedling.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May absent. Alderman Valco absent. Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Thank you. Item C, item B, request permission to adopt intergovernmental agreement between the City of Waukegan and Swalco regarding electronics recycling. Motion to recommend the City Council authorize the proper city officials permission to adopt the intergovernmental agreement between the City of Waukegan and Swalco regarding electronics recycling, and I so move.
I'll second that, Your Honor.
Motion by Alderman Moiseo, second by Alderman Tempest. Roll call, please, Mr.
Your Honor,
Clerk.
I wonder
Yes.
if Alderman Mosio could explain that a little better for the public.
We used to, electronics, obviously, you know, the state passed a law, basically anything with a cord, any garbage hauler cannot pick it up. So we have a big problem with TVs and other things with cords. Microwaves, exactly. Yeah. So we made this agreement with Swalco. Now Swalco gives us a vehicle or a way to get rid of them. We're going to have a bin, like similar to probably what you think as a roll-off, at Public Works, so people can bring their electronics there, put them in the bin. Swalco will have somebody come get it, take it to a certified recycler. Depending on how much we get, the city will then get a check from Swalco for, there's a deal between us and Swalco. Swalco gets 2/3, we get 1/3, so we can get some money for our recyclables. Before, we weren't getting any of that, and it was a problem. Alderman Tempest brought up a great point in the committee meeting. Now we have a place to put them, and a place to bring them, and a place to get some money for them. But we have to get the residents to understand, don't put them on the curb. Don't put them out in the middle of the field. Don't put them wherever. Bring them to city yards, put them in the bin, and they'll get taken care of. I mean, I think we all know, we've driven around town enough, you see a TV sitting on the curb. Because before, nobody would take it. The garbage hauler cannot take it. Tom has to get his crew, run around town, pick them up. We're going to try to communicate the best way we can, social media, paper, water bill, however we can, to educate the residents. Take it to city yards, put it in the bin, and we'll take care of it that way, and you're also going to get the city some money. So that's what this agreement is for, and again, Alderman Tempest's point was right on. We got to get it from the house to the bin with no curb and field in between. So he brought up a great point on that. Thank you.
Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Wait,
I have a
Alderman Beedling has a
question.
question.
I noticed the TVs on the curb. if a scrapper comes by, they'll break the back of it, and they take the yoke off the back of the picture tube. And from what I understand from the gentleman out at Arcoa, that's hazardous waste. Is there a cost to that? I mean, what do you do with TVs that nobody wants to recycle now that they took the copper off of it, $2 worth of copper?
They still take them all.
They will?
Yes, sir.
'Cause he told me they were basically useless and he didn't want his employees touching them.
We're dealing on a larger scale at this point, rather than with what we've been dealing with.
Reason I ask is if there's a cost associated with hazardous waste dumping, somebody puts it on the curb and it gets damaged like that, that would be a cost I would think that they would have to bear, knowing the rules, and they put it out in the parkway anyway. I don't know, are we gonna do anything about that?
Well, and that's a good point. The only problem is, and we've had this discussion before, there's no way to prove that I put that on my parkway. Everybody knows somebody drives around and no one, well, there are people that dumb, I guess, but there are other people that take it and throw it on somebody else's parkway so that they don't know. So there's no way to nail down unless you see somebody actually walk it out there and put it on their parkway that they actually did it. It's a good point, though. We've had that discussion before, but there's just no way to enforce that. But I think if we can get people that now there's a place to bring it. You can bring it to city yards. We don't have to worry about all that other stuff. I think we'll be okay. It's going to take some education, but we're going to have to work at it. Thank you, Your Honor.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Cunningham.
Aye.
Alderman Conken.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Beedling.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Thank you. And the last item, item C. Oops, hold on, let me get to it. Item C is request permission to adopt an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Waukegan, Lake County, Illinois, and the Waukegan Park District. Motion to recommend the City Council authorize the proper city officials permission to adopt the intergovernmental agreement between the City of Waukegan, Lake County, Illinois, and the Waukegan Park District regarding improvements to the center median island along Sunset Avenue between Northwestern Avenue and Delaney Road, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Cunningham, second by Alderman Conken. Roll call, please, Mr. Clerk.
Alderman Cunningham.
Aye.
Alderman Conken.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Beedling.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
That's all, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, wait, you know, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Next Monday, we would like to have a special Public Works meeting to vote on the garbage contract, followed by a special council meeting to vote on the garbage contract. Tom is going to meet with all of the aldermen this week to go over the garbage contract and answer any questions that they have about the garbage contract so that we can get this sewn up and taken care of. So I would like that to, if we can do that, Counselor, can we have a committee
Yes.
meeting and then a
Yes.
public? Right, we can. So
Yes.
why don't we set that for next Monday? We do have a judiciary meeting, correct? Next Monday?
Yes,
What time is judiciary?
usually at 6:30.
So we could do this right after judiciary
Or before?
and,
Oh, no.
or before.
Be 6?
Let's go,
Before.
let's go before.
6.
Everybody in agreement of 6 o'clock Public Works, 6:30 judiciary, 7 o'clock, one council meeting with one agenda, the garbage contract. Is that okay?
Fine with me.
Thank you.
There is no items under old business. There is no reports and communications. Under new business, item A, approval of payroll dated 7/26/13 in the amount of $1,344,843.70. Motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Tempest. Roll call, please, Mr. Clerk.
Alderman Cunningham.
Aye.
Alderman Conken.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Beedling.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Item B, approve the bills in the amount of $970,797.13. Motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Conken. Roll call, please, Mr. Clerk.
Alderman Cunningham.
Aye.
Alderman Conken.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Beedling.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest,
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Item C, approve of block parties. Motion by Alderman Cunningham, second by Alderman Beedling. All's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Treasury report for July 2013. Motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Rivera. All's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item E, grant permission for the Navy League of the United States of U.S. Lake County Council to have a raffle ending 9/2/13. Motion by Alderman Conken, second by Alderman Tempest. Roll call, please, Mr. Clerk.
Alderman Cunningham.
Aye.
Alderman Conken.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Beedling. Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Item F, motion to accept the draft TIF redevelopment plan for the North Lakefront TIF District dated 8/19/13 and place on file with the city clerk for public comment. Motion by Alderman Rivera, second by Alderman Cunningham. All's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item G, motion to accept the draft TIF redevelopment plan for downtown TIF district dated 8/19 and place on file with the city clerk for public comment. Motion by Alderman Cunningham, second by Alderman Beedling. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item H, motion to accept the draft TIF redevelopment plan for the South Lakefront TIF district dated 8/19/13 and place on file with city clerk for public comment. Motion by Alderman Tempest, second by Alderman Moiseo. All those in favor?
Aye.
No ordinances and resolutions. There will be an executive session to discuss matters of personnel after Alderman's time. Mr. Clerk, Alderman's time.
Alderman Cunningham.
I know we had said something earlier. I thought someone had mentioned earlier about school being back in. I caution everyone, we have a lot of our teenage kids and young children walking to and from school. We ask that all the residents throughout the city of Waukegan, particularly in that First Ward area where we have 2 elementary schools, Andrew Cook and Carmen Buckner, to be mindful of our children going back and to keep a close eye out on them. Second, we'd like to send a condolence to the Hill family. Mr. Fred Hill had his homegoing services this past weekend, so it's send a strong prayer for the Hill family. That is all. Thank you.
Alderman Conken.
Thank you. Just very quickly, to reiterate what Alderman Cunningham said, school will start before we meet again, at least until Alderman Moiseo called for the meeting next week. But kids will be back in school. You can already see the buses out, and they are practicing their routes. So be mindful of the fact that in a couple of weeks there will be kids where those buses are practicing their routes. Also, I'd like to mention we have issues with alternate parking, and I'd like the police department to really take a close look at that, especially, you know, obviously after midnight. We have a lot of parking and a lot of vehicles from company vehicles parked in the streets in residential areas. I'd like them to take a close look at that, and if possible, eliminate that from the residential areas. Other than that, thank you very much. I'm done.
Alderman Moiseo.
Just a couple things. If people aren't aware, the governor signed a bill making hands-free driving in the state of Illinois. We've had it for a while, but to me, distracted driving is distracted driving. So you need to be mindful of that. That means you can't have your phone up to your ear. You can't be talking on your phone, hands-free. So people need to be mindful of that. He also I think he signed a bill a little bit stiffer on gun responsibility. Again, I said we don't need more gun control laws. We need more gun responsibility laws. So when people have a gun, or if they obviously commit a crime with a gun, the punishment has to be severe. Not people that own guns responsibly. That's not the problem. The problem are people that have guns and are irresponsible with them, or the criminal element. To me, again, that's what needs to be the focus, and I think it's starting to gain a little bit more steam. Thank you.
Alderman Beedling. Alderman Newsom.
I just want to reiterate a little bit on what Candy Ortiz talked about, the Staben House and the Eddie Washington Center, this golf outing. As a board member of the Staben House for many years, they do contribute a lot to our community for women and children, giving them a safe place to stay, while giving them the skills that they need to be independent. And I think it's a worthwhile event to participate in, and to, if you don't want to sponsor, maybe you can sponsor a whole, it's $100. If not, come to the lunch or the dinner, and that's $50. And that, again, is going to be at the Mid-Lane on the 30th of August. And they're supposed to have the Bears out there, too. Some of the Chicago Bears will be present. So if you can participate in any way to this organization, it pays off in the end for our women and children, and not to leave off our men, too. Thank you.
Alderman Tempest.
Thank you. I want to talk about electronic collections a little more. I'm glad we're moving forward on this. It seems people were confused. What do I do with it? I put it out on the curb. The garbage man used to take it. Now he doesn't take it. Now I got the recycler coming around and knocking off the back and taking the valuable copper out of it. Now I would ask people not to put it on the curb. There's no need to put it on the curb. Put it in the trunk of your car, haul it over to city yards where there will be a container to put them in. I think it's very, very important. Then when I'm thinking about recycling, I drive my ward twice a day now. My wife loves to go for rides. And I stay in the ward pretty much, but what I see, we have a tremendous amount of people that don't recycle. I've got garbage cans overflowing. I get out and look, all kinds of recyclables in there. And with our new contract, I know Mr. Hagerty's working very seriously on this, and SWACO is too. They're saying if we go to a container with a lid on it, our recycling should improve dramatically. And I think we have to make it a good effort to encourage people to recycle, or what to recycle and how to recycle. Might be part of an educational program, but we need to push that. And the third thing I want to talk about is, you live in Waukegan, part of the way we maintain our roads and maintain things is our vehicle sticker. As I drive through, I see a lot of cars without vehicle stickers on them. And I think about this time of the year, they ought to have a vehicle sticker. And we ought to start writing some tickets if they don't have one. Or some type of amnesty program that if you get it within a certain time. But we need to see that people get their vehicle stickers. So those three fronts. Electronic collections, don't just lay it on the curb anymore. Take it to city yards. If you don't know where city yards is, Macri Road, north of Sunset. You'll find it on the west side. It's very easy to find, but you've got to, what? Thank you, 1700. We'll give you an address, 1700. And I'm sure with people that have knowledge of where to put it, and a little help from our reporter back there, you can make a nice article on that. Waukegan moves forward on recycling electronic goods. I gave you your headline. Okay, well, thank you.
That wouldn't have been the first.
Alderman Rivera.
Well, thank you with this contract with SWALCO, number one. Now that we are a SWALCO community, I know we have our bins for paper, that they'll be putting out in the front of their homes, but when you're talking about a lot of office, we have a lot of companies here, will there be a day where SWALCO can have a certain site for a big collection like that, Alderman Moiseo?
I don't know if SWALCO deals with businesses within it. They do. Tom, I'm sort of naive on that point, but Tom can help us with that. That's a good question, Alderman.
because, you know, I've had a couple of constituents of mine calling me about it. They used to have them around these schools, these recycling paper bins. Problem is, you know, they took away the one on Washington Park
Well,
School because somebody was lighting fires in them.
All the time, correct.
So that's why they took it
That
away.
becomes a problem.
And that becomes a problem.
Right.
So, but go ahead, Tom.
Business recycling.
Right.
Spalco is very much into that. At one time, they sponsored a Target area here in Waukegan in the
Right.
Plaza, a 3-year program where they picked it up 100% the first year, 50% the second year, and the third year the business is run their own. We participated in that along with Spalco at one time.
Right.
There are programs out there for businesses to do recycling in. It's the wave of the future, you know.
Well, good. I
There's
mean,
only- there's only so
hopefully
much-
they'll schedule one here, you know.
It's not scheduled. It's, you know, the businesses have to participate in it. The businesses have to step up as well.
All right.
And we can approach the businesses and make it available to them. But there's, you know, they would have to get a container from a hauler to do the recycling.
Right. Okay.
And one of the ways that we're going to push the recycling into the homes is through the schools. I'm already talking about that with the president of Swalco of having things in the schools and starting it. The younger we started with the kids, the better the program's going to work. You know, to put the message in the schools and take it home to the parents.
Right.
So that's one of the avenues we're going with too.
Okay, thank you. Another thing is block parties. You know, a lot of these requests, sometimes the requests are sort of tricky. You know, sometimes they want to do these block parties, but really personally, it's that resident that wants to do a party. And I don't know if our committee, whoever reviews these block parties, you know, how extensively they check on this, because in one case that I just had recently, you know, some of the people on the block didn't want a party at all, you know, so because it really wasn't a block party, it was really somebody just personally wanted to have a party and have a bunch of cars there, you know, and so I don't know how extensively they're looking into these block party requests. So I think we need to look into that a little more extensively. So I just wanted to bring that up. I also wanted to bring up, number one, I congratulate Zell Robbins, and I talked to him earlier. You know, I saw in the paper that, you know, Park City, you know, got a $100,000 grant through the county for their streets, and I just wanted to know where we were at as far as the city, our city, as far as a grant like that happening to us. Zell, I know you had mentioned that, you told me that, you know, we're still waiting for a response for that. Could you address that a little bit?
What happens earlier, in the year, we start taking applications from various entities that are looking for funding for various projects. Park City is a part of Lake County's CDBG. And so they applied to Lake County and they received those funds for the road work. We are still waiting on, as well as is Lake County. So they really don't have the funds in hand. We're still waiting on our agreements from HUD, and then once we get those signed, get them back, then we will have the funds at our disposal. So Waukegan is still getting our CDBG funds. I actually spoke to the director of HUD on last week, and he said that we should get our contracts like sometime real soon. So.
Thank you. One last thing. Read, well, in the news today, the state of Illinois, we are #1 in gangs for the state of Illinois in the United States. I think it's important that we provide the resources We'll get our congressman to provide the resources that we need to help our police department combat gangs. And it's not only in the city of Chicago, but in the suburbs as well. And how can we do that? And that's through funds. We need funding. So if we can get any federal grants in regards to that, I know Senator Kirk was talking about it. And I think maybe now is the time that maybe we can, get some help there. So I would definitely not only talk with Senator, but also our congressman as well. So, thank you.
Thank you. We are going to go into executive session. For all intents and purposes, when we're done, we're going to come back, go back into the meeting and adjourn. So, motion by Alderman Tempest, seconded by Alderman Moiseo, to go into executive session to discuss matters of personnel. Roll call, please, Mr. Clerk.
Alderman Cunningham.
Aye.
Alderman Conken.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo. Alderman Beedling. Alderman Newsom. Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Okay, motion by Alderman Rivera, second by Alderman Tempest to come back into session. Motion adjourned by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Conken. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Meeting adjourned.